Welcome to Snyder's Inc., where the fun never ends. Reactions, gaming, and more with Josh as your friend. Tune in, buckle up, it's a ride you don't wanna miss. Snyder's Inc., let's dive in, feel the ultimate bliss.
Everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we got a wrestling reaction, but this one is 10 best AEW Year 1 matches. And we'll get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, hit a like button, hit subscribe button, comment what you think down below. Let's go.
Wrestle Talk!
Give us a subscribe.
On May 25th, 2019, All Elite Wrestling held their first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. The first as an official promotion after the success of their independent show, All In. With this weekend's Double or Nothing, we have had one full calendar year of AEW, and what better time to look back at their greatest matches over those last 12 months. It's been an astonishing debut year for the promotion and their hybrid style of jaw-dropping spot fest.
AEW's had a, like, obviously they're going into all year 4, year 5, year 5. That's right. I know things. But it is insane to me that we live at a time where AEW is even a thing. So we're gonna look. Probably at some point we'll do all the years. Year 1. Year 2, year 3, year 4. I think I've done one of them, but I'm not even fully sure if I did on this channel. So, we'll do it again. If I didn't. Let's continue onwards.
Irreverent character comedy, legit stomach-churning death matches, and blood-soaked Southern Gothic territory-style grappling. Those of you who haven't seen much AEW might want to get on that, because while WWE may have one of the greatest rosters in the world, they're not the only game on cable anymore. And let's remember the oft-forgotten first rule of internet camaraderie. Just because you like one thing doesn't mean you have to dislike another thing to make that appreciation valid. Cannot wait to read below the
Another thing about wrestling that I never understood. Although this thing is just immediate, it seems like if you like one thing, you have to hate the opposite. If you like DC, you have to hate Marvel. If you like Marvel, you have to hate DC. In wrestling terminology, if you like WWE, you have to hate AEW. If you like AEW, you have to hate WWE. So stupid.
The video to see good-hearted YouTube commenters taking this message to heart. Hooray. Strap in, these are the 10 greatest matches from AEW's first year. Number 10, Cody Rhodes vs. Darby Allin, Fyter Fest. It makes sense.
This one I haven't seen, however, Cody Rhodes is one of the pretty much most constant good wrestlers in the world today. Can't have a bad match with anyone. Cody Rhodes is a one-of-a-kind type of person. One-of-a-kind thing. He's on the top guys in WWE right now. One of the most popular. He knows how to do this well.
To begin this list with Cody Rhodes, arguably the face of All Elite Wrestling, the lead spokesperson, and along with the Young Bucks, the guiding hand behind the creation of the promotion. While Cody may not be as versed in high-octane acrobatic stunt work like the rest of his elite brethren, he more than makes up for it in formulating match narratives. He's a storyteller. His dad is The Dream, one of the greatest promos of all time, and he learned his craft in WWE, who have always prioritized story over moves. However, you can see a lot of how Cody wants AEW.
Darby Allin is incredible. Darby Allin's a guy that you, like, mostly kids would get into because he just looks so different and he's such an underdog compared to everyone else. There's a missing part to Darby Allin.
To differentiate itself from WWE.
He should be bigger than he is. He's in a better position than he is.
His match against Darby Allin from Fyter Fest. For starters, if you have the it factor, AEW will pay attention no matter what your size. And Jesus Christ, Darby Allin may be 180 pounds, but he's the next goddamn big thing. He moves like lightning, has a savage cruel streak, a killer half-skeleton look, and has his storytelling timing down. In this match, Cody underestimates him, hurling him around the ring like a military dad looking to beat the Hot Topic phase out of his son. But Allin survives survives and survives as Cody realizes he can't put him away before the time limit expires. And that's another thing. AEW has time limits and they enforce them, a storytelling device long abandoned by WWE. When the timekeeper announces only 3 minutes left of the match, suddenly the tension spikes. Every move by Cody has a renewed desperation and everyone's heart rates go up and up. A time limit draw may frustrate some fans, but this match made 3 very important statements. Time limits will now always matter in future matches. You don't have to win a match to become a star, and you guys should be all in on Darby Allin. Number 9, Riho versus Nyla.
Well, also, yeah, because it shows that's how you make Darby a popular guy. Is that Cody Rhodes is the top guy, could not put him away within the time limit because Darby Allin has so much heart and fire. So that's a good story to do, and that's how you cement Darby Allin as a top guy.
Star, and you guys should be all in on Darby Allin. Number 9, Riho versus Nyla Rose 2, Dynamite. If there's current...
I'm not going to say anything to this one. I'm going to leave this alone. I'm just going to leave this alone.
A weak point in AEW's game, it's their women's division, which is not to say there aren't great characters here, but AEW exploded with a crop of guys who made names for themselves across the scene in ROH, New Japan and WWE, but their first wave of female talent was comparatively much less well known and, especially their American talent, less versed in the ring. AEW also hasn't provided them with as many opportunities to shine. You can understand them wanting to build momentum by spotlighting their more well-known stars more often, but for the most part we're back in one women's match per show territory that even WWE have grown out of. The division should get there. Britt Baker is emerging as a great character. Top Gaijin B. Priestley's fab, but up until now it's really only been a division of 2 big stars. Riho, Joshi superstar and first AEW Women's Champion, and Nyla Rose, a transgender Native American woman who's current champ and ruling the division like an unstoppable beast. These 2 performers gave us the best AEW women's match to date on the February 12th episode of Dynamite when they fought for the women's title. Riho may look like someone has brought their daughter to work, but she's 98 pounds of mayhem and the perfect David to Nyla Rose's Goliath. It's a simple engrossing story that builds to a huge crescendo, and seeing a mainstream American audience chanting "This is awesome" for a Joshi wrestler and a trans wrestler is a genuinely wonderful thing. Number 8, Kenny Omega versus Pac, 30-minute Iron Man match, Dynamite.
By the way, not me saying anything about not saying anything has nothing to do with Nyla specifically. It's both wrestlers, and most early women's matches in AEW I don't like. Even a gun like that one, Nyla thing, like it took a while for me to get into AEW's women's matches. I'm gonna be honest.
Right, competition breeds innovation, so it goes, and while the NXT AEW Wednesday Night War is generally just made up by wrestling YouTubers to push a more compelling narrative, it seems to be having an effect on the programming. NXT and Dynamite have been throwing bombs on Wednesday nights.
Pac is one of my favorite people in AEW, and I wish they did more with him, but Pac is like one of my favorite people in AEW. So from the beginning, him versus Omega was really fun to watch, and him versus Omega is like just cool in an Iron Man match. I'm gonna go watch AEW's next pay-per-view, Forbidden Door, because that's on the 25th. I'll still have content for you guys, but I'll be doing that on the 25th. But yeah, it's insane to me that I get to watch that live in person. But that's not what this is about. It's just about the fact that these 2 put on a banger in an Iron Man match, which is amazing.
Last few months, to the point where AEW is giving away a 30-minute Iron Man match between Kenny Omega and Pac, 2 of the greatest wrestlers in the world, on free fucking TV. I mean, we'll take it. It may carry too many similarities to WrestleMania 12's Iron Man match for some people, but there's no denying it's a match of the year candidate. 2 men who are made of springs and kneecaps hitting springboard shooting star presses through tables for the sheer living of it, and Pac taking his wonderful WWE heel persona and ramping it up times 1 million. It's been a point of frustration for some AEW fans that oft-regarded greatest living wrestler Kenny Omega has been somewhat nerfed in his home promotion, probably to avoid WCW levels of the bookers booking themselves to win all the time, but he's
Never mind.
glorious here, pinballing around the ring without dipping energy for 30 straight minutes and powering through immense pain in a series of awful looking brutalizers. It's not even the best match that either man competed in that week, which is saying something about AEW right now. Number 7, Pac versus Orange Cassidy, Revolution. Less than a week.
This is a match that people forget. This is Orange Cassidy, the man everyone always underestimates. Every time he stands in a big match, they bitch and complain and underestimate him. Then he always shows them the fuck out and shuts them the fuck up. Orange Cassidy is the goddamn man in AEW.
After taking on Omega in that Iron Man match, Pac fought Orange Cassidy, who is, and I 100% mean this, wrestling's biggest genius. He's one of the most over characters in the world, and he's accomplished that by almost never wrestling. I would applaud him, but he would probably not appreciate the effort that would take. To sum him up, he's a comedy slacker character who refuses to try, laid back to the point of rigor mortis. Case in point, he wrestles this match in aviators with his hands in his pockets, and it's fucking wonderful. At AEW Revolution, he fights Pac, a murder Wolverine with history's angriest muscles, and that is a match made in comedy heaven. A very important thing that wrestling needs to know about itself is that wrestling is very silly, and sometimes everyone wants to celebrate that. When Pac and Cassidy stood toe-to-toe, the fans erupted in self-aware holy shit chants without either man doing a move. That's something special. Pac being Pac and full of incredibly powerful hate, he makes an example of Cassidy, but not before Orange has an amazing sequence of underdog fire, because the most wonderful thing about his gimmick is, when he actually tries, Orange Cassidy is a really good wrestler, one of the greatest comedy matches of the last decade, and an actually stellar straight wrestling match in general. Number 6, Cody versus Chris Jericho, Full Gear. We have to talk.
I got so mad at this match when it was announced. I almost felt like I fell into their bait, but why did this match have to happen? Why did Cody have to put such a stupid stipulation on this match that literally pretty much ended up causing him years later to leave the damn company?
Talk about Le Champion, because in AEW, at the age of 49, Chris Jericho is doing some of his best work of his career. In terms of curating one's personal brand, Chris Jericho may be the greatest wrestling innovator of all time, and while it was a definite risk for All Elite Wrestling to whack their first ever AEW World Championship on an older wrestler, primarily known for his stint in WWE, in reality, Y2J has been the perfect first champ. Charismatic, smarmy, beatable but smart enough to cling to his title, and still savvy enough to be both well known to the casuals, but respected by the faithful. Jericho's had some great matches aided by his Inner Circle faction, but the best has to be his match at Full Gear against Cody. It's a story over ring work affair, but it's a
Look at this man. Who dresses like this as a world champion? You are not a world champion. You shouldn't just be in a world title match where you're at, but you are not a world champion.
great story. Cody gets a match by saying if he fails, he will never again challenge for the title, and then, a few minutes into it, jumps and accidentally cracks his head open hard way on the steel ramp. Jericho targets the wound as Cody struggles to keep conscious, all as his protege MJF watches at ringside, with both he and the fans in general unable to fathom the concept that Cody will never be champion in his home promotion. It's riveting stuff, and while I won't tell you the exact finish of the match, it comes accompanied with one of the best pieces of character development in the promotion's history thus far. Number 5, Rey Fenix versus Nick Jackson, Dynamite. When talking about moves,
I have no idea about this one. I have no comment on this one. I don't even remember this match.
sometimes more is more. Nick Jackson and Phoenix are both separately part of two of the best tag teams in the world with their actual real-life brothers, and trust me, we'll talk more about the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros later. But on the 20th November episode of Dynamite, both men put on a bewildering display of wrestling ingenuity. It's sheer, relentless, nonsense dancing, but it's also mad inventive, spellbinding, and contains more moves in 15 minutes than 3 hours of Raw. Don't get me wrong, I'm a story before moves guy, but one of the things AEW really seems to understand is variety. The fact that tuning into Dynamite, you don't know if you're going to get Lucha, Joshi, Deathmatch, Spotfest, NWA, New Japan, or DDT comedy, that is a huge boon for a show. There's very little story to describe here, and simply listing moves won't do this match any favors, so go ahead and check the match out, because it may not be the greatest match, but it's the purest distillation of a single Spotfest that you're likely to find outside of a Will Ospreay cheese dream. Number 4, Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega.
The match that's probably gonna be the most debated because people will be like, "Well, that match was too violent, brother. I'm into violence. If it's fun violence and I don't feel bad thing, if I don't feel bad for the people, it's all right with me." And I didn't, and these men went balls to the wall. Deserves all the amazing praise. I love this match.
Full Gear. We've mentioned that AEW does death matches, and Jesus Christ, this is a capital D death match. Honestly, it's not my kind of thing, but a good promotion, as we said, is built on variety, and if this is your thing, well, it's everything you could ever want. Jon Moxley is unrecognizable as the man formerly known as Dean Ambrose. He's the first major talent to cross from WWE to AEW while both companies were active, and genuinely, he's wrestling like a completely different man. No more hot dog carts and forgetting to unplug televisions. Now Jon Moxley is crawling through broken glass and being suplexed onto beds of barbed wire. Remember before WrestleMania 32 and the upcoming no DQ match between Ambrose and Lesnar? Remember thinking, oh, that'll be good. That's the match you get at Full Gear between Moxley and Kenny Omega. He actually gets to hit someone with a barbed wire baseball bat this time. It's a lights out unsanctioned match. It's demented, it's epic, it's in Moxley's own words, fucking garbage wrestling. But if you've ever wanted to see what CZW Moxley could do with a budget, this is for you. He and Omega thoroughly destroy.
My wrestling opinion's so bizarre because I don't like some violent wrestling. Like, I don't like sometimes, like, but I think at this time I love this match. I love the match. But I think Moxley somehow made me hate that type of wrestling. That's what's weird about it. I think Moxley's the one that made me hate that type of wrestling.
Destroy each other over 40 minutes of carnage that makes Ciampa and Gargano look like a day at the beach. Number 3, Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks ladder match.
This is the only one I didn't see. This is the only one I didn't see, so I can't say anything.
All out. The moves, the moves. It's the greatest pure spot fest in AEW short history, and actually, no, seriously though, how are they going to top a Canadian destroyer from the top of a ladder through a table? How? AEW has a working partnership with a few promotions, and one of those is Mexican Lucha Libre AAA, for whom the Lucha Bros are their current tag team champions. The belts were on the line at AEW pay-per-view All Out against the Young Bucks in a ladder match, and yes, when you think Young Bucks and ladders, this is that match you're thinking of, but also double that, and also holy shit. There's an unmasking, submission moves done through ladders, and a series of spots where one member of Young Bucks hits one of the Lucha Bros with a move, while the other brother of the Lucha Bros hits the other Young Buck with the exact same move at the exact same time. Look, it makes sense when you see it. AEW's tag scene right now is as frantic and as hot as the fabled Attitude Era tag scene in WWE, with just as many broken bodies and broken tables left in its wake. Number 2, Cody versus Dustin, double.
I disagree that this should be number 2. This match is fucking incredible. This match is fucking incredible. This should be number 1. Whatever he has here might have to be questioned, because this is incredible. This is what wrestling is Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. This is what wrestling is.
Or nothing. And speaking of the Attitude Era, hey, you guys remember blading? AEW remembers. If Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks represent the Cirque du Soleil of wrestling's future, Cody Rhodes is all about wrestling's past, the gritty, believable, often blood-soaked southern wrestling style of the NWA legends Ric Flair, the Horseman, and of course, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. I don't promote blading. I generally think wrestling is better for blood being an absolute rarity, but sometimes, depending on the story you're trying to tell, it's not just a benefit, it's necessary. The first Double or Nothing, the first official AEW pay-per-view, and still one of the best matches in its history. Cody versus Dustin Rhodes, brother versus brother, pure southern melodrama. It's easily the best match of either man's career, and what an absolute genius move to even book it. AEW was a new promotion. To a lot of casual fans, its roster would be unknown, but this one match comes steeped with so much mainstream awareness, so much real-life context, that even if you never...
This is the best match AEW's done in year 1. I will not let... There is nothing he's going to say number 1 that tops this. I know what it's going to be, too. I have a feeling that I know what it's going to be, and I disagree.
seen any wrestling before. The story is instantly recognizable and engaging. Brash, arrogant younger brother trying to put his older brother, wiser but slowing down, out to pasture. But damn it, something, be it pride, guts, or sheer concussed will, keeps the old dog in the fight. This story is complemented perfectly by a wayward turnbuckle shot leading to Dustin bleeding all over the place as we watch the literal and proverbial lifeblood of the older brother leak away in front of our eyes, and yet somehow he clings on. Old school wrestling at its finest and the most emotional match AEW has ever produced. And number one, the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah, and I disagree. I knew it was gonna be this. I disagree. Maybe I need to watch this match again, but I watched this before and I was not engaged the way everyone else is. I missed something here. I think Cody and Dustin surpasses this one.
And Adam Page revolution. Cowboy shit indeed. WWE may be doing the best cinematic style matches right now. New Japan may still have just about the edge when it comes to high profile singles matches, but in terms of tag team wrestling, AEW is the best promotion in the world. Private Party, Lucha Bros, Best Friends, Jurassic Express, SoCal Uncensored, Proud and Powerful, The Sex Gods, The Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega and Adam Page stacked from top to bottom, and this is the greatest tag match in AEW's brilliant first year for tandem wrestling. Omega, Adam Page, who is a cowboy and one of the promotion's rapidest rising stars, and the Young Bucks are all members of the Elite and all well versed in spot-fest wrestling. However, what pushes this match into true greatness is the long-form storyline that runs underneath it. Adam Page tried to leave the Elite, but his partner, Kenny Omega, is a founding member. This has led to tension between Page and the Young Bucks, with Omega in the middle trying to placate everyone. In this match for the AEW tag titles, the heart and soul of the match is how far is too far when you're wrestling your friends. It starts cordial but soon gets ugly, real ugly, paying off tensions that go back as far as New Japan, all in the middle of an unbelievable amount of jaw-dropping moves, ending with a beautiful tease of where the story's going next, the very best that tag wrestling has to offer, and here is to AEW's second year. That's our list.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of this list in the comments. What is, in your opinion, the best match of AEW's first year? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.